Welcome to our first episode of How to Have a Home Bar.
How to have a home bar?
This is a series we're starting where Andrew is going to teach you all of the things you need to be able to have a home bar, make drinks for your friends, and host people without making it overly complicated. This first episode is all about stocking your home bar. First step is all the tools you need, which is not many. And second step is all the liquors.
Yes.
Take us through what we need.
So these are generally the tools that I have. You do not need all of these, but I'm going to go into a little bit about what they are. The first thing we have here is a Boston shaker. This is a tin and glass. You can also do a tin and tin version of this. I like the glass version because you can also use this as a mixing glass if you don't want to also buy a regular old mixing glass.
Like for drinks you
stir.
Do this too.
Yeah.
You do a lot of this. Stir. Good
stir,
demonstration.
Good stir. There are other types of shakers that you can get. This is the cobbler shaker. So it's a 3-piece shaker. It has a built-in strainer, which is kind of the nice thing. This one can be a little bit hard to use.
Okay.
Because this goes on top, and when you shake it, a vacuum is created inside of here. So this can get hard to wrench off of here.
So if you want something pretty, you can find really pretty ones in this style, right? But this is genuinely the most practical, so it just depends on what you're after, really.
And the other thing is that this, you're probably only gonna make one drink at a time in this, and I can fit 2, 3 if I squeeze it into that one.
That's pretty freaking sweet. So those are our shakers.
Those are our shakers. This is our mixing glass that we have. This was a birthday present from you, right?
Sure. I'll take credit.
I think so. I really like the crosshatch design. It just looks fancy. I don't know. Nice and thick walled glass here, so it can withstand a little bit of a drop, but the bigger thing is that it can withstand temperature changes.
Yeah, Andrew likes to throw the mixing glass around.
I did study flare bartending one time.
Oh, do you have your flare?
I do have it somewhere in here.
His bottle to practice with?
I have not practiced with it in a very, very long time, so maybe that'll be next year's resolution.
Okay. 2026, he's coming for the flare bottle.
Learn to juggle. Now, with any of this, it's good to have a bar spoon. The nice thing about a bar spoon is it's nice and long, so it goes into this deep glass, it fits in here, and this has a nice little swizzle on it, which is great for when you're pouring soda. You can show off to your friends. If you pour soda down the side, it sticks to this swizzle here, and it goes to the bottom of the drink.
Which is really nice if you've ever been at a bar where they pour the soda on top and then you take your first sip through a straw and it is all liquor.
Yeah. Which is technically how you should make like a rum and coke situation. It should technically be a shot and chaser.
Yeah. But if you prefer it not that way,
yeah.
Swizzle it up.
Swizzle it up.
Okay, what else do you want to say?
Big key thing, get yourself a jigger. Get one like this. This is a Japanese style jigger. The other version is a bell jigger, which we don't have. The thing I really like about this one is that it's graduated on the inside, so there's lines that show you a 1/4 ounce, 1/2 ounce, 3/4 of an ounce, and this full one is an ounce here. Flip it over, there's a 1.5 ounce line in here, and then the full is a 2 ounce.
So that's like everything you'd need measurement-wise. Oh, and then...
Oh, yeah. Generally speaking, now, bar spoons tend to have all different sorts of shapes here. On a general note, if you want to get around 1/8 of an ounce, if you pour into the bar spoon top, the bar spoon base, the head. But this is generally 1/8 of an ounce. If you don't have a cobbler shaker with a strainer inside, you're gonna need a strainer. There are 2 real regular types of strainers. This one is a Hawthorne. This is the one you see all the time. It has a spring on here, named after the guy that invented the Hawthorne strainer. Goes great for this type of shaker. This is a julep strainer, named after the drink, the mint julep. Put that right on the mixing glass, and it's better for that sort of like stirred cocktail versus shaken cocktail. They both achieve the same thing, which is to not let the ice out of the glass.
Yeah, they're pretty good at that. Because you can do that too, right?
Yeah, you could do that.
But you can do that.
If you wanted
I feel like
to,
I'm on a sensory table right now.
Yeah, you could do this too. I've done this as well. This tends to get messy if you do use a julep strainer then. Key essential to have on hand. We probably have 3 of these. We used to have 4 of these.
Maybe I took one through TSA by accident.
Yeah.
And I took it away.
Look, it got to New Orleans. It didn't get back from New Orleans.
I don't know why I had it.
Yeah.
I didn't know I had it.
Honestly, the guy pulled it out and I was like, where did we just pick up this?
Not a clue.
Nope.
Don't have it anymore.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is my favorite type, and maybe it's just bias because I used to work in a restaurant. This is a waiter's key.
We're gonna do a video where Andrew shows you how to use the wine key.
This has a double action hinge here, so you can see.
We'll get into it. We'll get into that.
Yeah. So these are things that you should honestly just have in your kitchen. I hope your kitchen has a knife and a cutting board. Yeah, they're just good to have around. I have this one specifically for the bar. Peeler, just a good thing to have in your kitchen generally, but I like to use this one. It's great for making citrus peels. End of list.
End of list. If you want to up your flair, citrus peel is such a good garnish to add to the drink. Yeah. Really fun. And it really affects the taste. Like when you have a peel in there, it really makes a difference.
It does.
So, okay, so this is your basic equipment. It's all linked in the place where links live if you would like to get Andrew's set up. So let's move into the ideal base liquors and liqueurs. Step 2, stocking your bar with actual alcohol.
Yes.
An important step.
Now, this is kind of generally what we would have on hand if we were hosting anyone. It's good to have vodka, gin, tequila, and whiskey on hand. For the OGs, you know, Four Roses is our love.
Yeah, all things considered, these are all between $20 and $30 a bottle. Nothing wild, but not like your lowest end.
Exactly.
So we're fans of all of these. They work really well in cocktails, all of them. So that's what's really nice about it. You may be like, where's the rum? You only need rum if you're somebody who likes rum.
Yeah.
But for the most part, like a tequila, vodka drink, ginger, like you'll have other ways to make rum people happy unless you're making a rum specific drink.
So if this is your base spirit, this is your sweetener, essentially. So we have a good orange liqueur. We use Cointreau all the time. Triple sec, orange curacao.
Orange liqueur will come up rather frequently in popular drinks. What about these guys?
We have a sweet vermouth or a rouge, and then dry vermouth. Dry and sweet. It's akin to the wine that they're made from. Martinis are really in right now, specifically dirty martinis. Some people don't like dry vermouth in that, but if you're making a classic martini, or you want to figure out what martini is your martini, you're gonna want to buy a bottle of dry vermouth.
They're not expensive. You can get small ones too.
Sweet vermouth, we love Manhattans. Negronis. You're gonna need sweet vermouth for those. They're technically fortified wines. I don't know if you want to look up what fortified wines are. They're fun. Losing the plot.
You got it.
We can finish
strong. Finish
All
strong.
right.
Here we go.
So if you think of this like you're cooking, this is basically your main and your side dish. This is your seasoning. These are bitters, both versions of aromatic bitters, and probably the most common that you're ever going to see. Angostura and Peychaud's.
It adds a lot of depth.
It does. Truly, it is very much like salting your food.
That's a great way to explain it.
The other versions are going to be like orange. You can get spicy bitters, cherry. What goes into them is basically a bunch of botanicals and herbs and spices. They're good to have and fun to play around with. So if you have an upset stomach, ginger ale and some bitters on top is good for that because these were originally medicines. Perfect.
So this kind of sets you up really nicely, and then you'll add on some basic mixers and things like your NA stuff, your citrus, your club soda, whatever, like that kind of stuff.
Right.
But as far as your alcohol goes, this covers you for so many drinks. Yeah, in the next episode we'll get into sort of the basics of a cocktail and take you through how to make that. So you can just feel a little more confident as a host, because I think that's one area where people get a little overwhelmed is drinks. We'll do some episodes on like how to make a basic cocktail, and then also some ideas for batch cocktails. Yeah. That stocks your home bar. Next episode we'll get into how to actually use all this stuff a little more specifically.
Yeah.